You know what time it is? Time to hang out with Mr. Coop. With Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper. Hang with Mr. Coop, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper. Yeah.
Welcome to the Big Scoop with Coop. Of course, I'm your host, Coop. Big shout out to you that's listening to this episode right now on whatever major streaming platform that you're on right now. Also, if you want to catch the video version of this show, you can in so many different ways. You can go to youtube.com/The Big Scoop with Coop. Make sure you click like and subscribe so you don't miss one episode of the Big Scoop with Coop. Also, make sure you check out the website, thebigscoopwithcoop.com, where you can catch episodes from season 1 all the way up to now. Also, if you're a social media person, that's right, you can find these shows on social media. Facebook.com/The Big Scoop with Coop. On Instagram at Big Scoop with Coop. And that's right, I'm on TikTok. I am on TikTok, people. Just look up The Big Scoop with Coop. And I guarantee you will not miss one episode of The Big Scoop with Coop. All right, people. Enough about me. Today's guest, she is an Italian writer. She is an Italian actress, and she has worked globally. And when I say globally, I mean globally, all over. She's a singer, and she's also an actress that's actually going to be in this upcoming movie called You, Me, and Tuscany. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the one and only Stella Pecollo. Now, Stella's going to come on. She's going to talk about her career. She's going to talk about her movie. She's going to talk about some of her passion also. So I hope you get ready for this. So sit back and relax and enjoy this episode of the Big Scoop with Coop with Stella Pecollo. Welcome back to the Big Scoop with Coop. Of course, I'm your host, Coop. I told you I had a lady in the building. She's already been global. And guess what? She stopped by here to spend some time with us. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Miss Stella Pecollo. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I love your introduction.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. How's your day going so far?
It's amazing. It's magical. I've just been right now in Times Square and I saw a billboard of our movie with my face on it. So I'm not gonna lie, I had a little tear of happiness just like 5 minutes ago. So it's doing great.
Well, you know what, Stella, you cheated yourself because you only had a little tear. You should have a lot of tears coming down. That's big time right there. Seeing yourself in Times Square like that. That is big time. Yes. I'm in North Carolina, so I'm glad that we're finally getting that spring weather. Allergies kill me, but guess what? I took my medicine. I'm glad it's not winter no more. And that's I'm just glad that winter and that cold air is gone. Give me the warmness all day.
I love that.
Yes. Now, Stella, like I said, you are doing big things. We're going to talk about your role as Francesca. We're going to talk about more things also that's going on. But for the people that's getting introduced to you for the first time ever, when did you first realize that you wanted to get into the entertainment industry?
I was probably 3 years old because I started being an entertainer for my family dinners since I was very little, singing for them, being a clown, and all these sort of things. So I was pretty clear on my dreams.
Wow. At 3 years old, and I tell people all the time, Stella, I said if you have a love or a feeling or a passion of doing something, it doesn't matter how young you are or how old you are, it's going to stay in your heart and it's going to stay in your mind until you actually start doing it. And look at you. You are doing very, very big things. You are global. I mean, we're going to talk about that also. You are actually global. Now, coming from 3 years old all the way up now, and you're actually in the entertainment industry, let me ask you this question, because a lot of people that's watching worldwide right now, they would love to hear your opinion about this. Now, you've experienced a lot. You have done multiple things in the entertainment industry, but what's a truth that about the entertainment industry that people don't talk about enough? that you feel like it needs to be talked about more?
I think the truth, the biggest truth that people need to really, really understand is that the more you are yourself, and the better you're gonna do in this industry. Because sometimes the society is teaching us to be just like everybody else, and it's actually the opposite. And I realize it on myself. I am different in many ways. I'm Italian, I'm curvier, I am this, I'm that, and I'm loud, whatever. um, and maybe up until a certain point I was trying to be also like everybody else, but then my acting teacher actually helped me understand that my uniqueness, my unique traits are what makes me successful in this business. So I think this is the main thing.
And you're so right about that, the uniqueness, because I think a lot of people, they'll watch a movie or television or watch something that's streaming on YouTube, and they'll say, you know what, if I imitate ABC over here, I could get into the industry and do just as well. And they're missing out on their own potential, and that's being their unique self.
Hmm.
And I definitely agree with you on that. I do. Now, Stella, also, since you're talking about your truth and everything, has there ever been a moment that you felt like that you didn't belong in the industry, and you actually knew that you did belong in the industry?
Yes, I remember very clearly. It was actually, I was very young, maybe around 15, 14, 15. And I singing is it was my first passion. And again, it's the same industry. So I was speaking to my singing teacher, and she saw me a little bit sad. She was like, "What's happening?" I'm like, I don't think I can be a singer because I'm fat." And she's like, "Excuse me?" And she showed me all these records of these amazing singers, um, like Aretha Franklin. And it's like, they are not skinny and they are the most beautiful voices in the world. And what are you talking about? But sometimes you watch TV, you listen to the news, you listen to some voices, and you really go into your head and you really convince yourself that you cannot do something or be something. And she was like, "Stop it right now." you know and that's when I was like, oh, actually she's right. Like, these women, amazing women, and with incredible voices, they are the whole package. Who cares about the way they look or their bodies? Actually, it's a plus.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm glad you said that, because I know I'm about to tell my age. I'm an 80s baby, teenagers in the 90s, and people felt like that the only way you can be successful if you're this big. And you can't, if you get any bigger than this, if you get to this, you're X'd out. And that's so not true. That's so not true. Your potential is not built on how big or small you are. Your potential is built off of your skill and the gift that you have. And I tell people all the time, that's how it actually goes down. And I'm glad that music teacher stopped you, because would you be here today if that teacher did not stop you? And that's why I'm glad that teacher stood up and said, hey, Stella, you got to get your groove back. I'm sorry I had to throw that line in because of the movie.
Yes,
I had to.
yes, yes, yes.
I had to do it. And you got your groove back, and look at you today. That
I
is
mean,
awesome.
thank you. And let me just say a shout out to teachers, because teachers are so important. This is one of 1,000 examples. Like, teachers are so important.
Wow. That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen that's watching worldwide right now, I hope you're taking in what Stella's saying. Don't go off of your size. Listen to a teacher. If you have a mentor, a teacher, anybody that's trying to steer you in the right direction, don't go off of what you see online, on television, on the movies. You go off of what is inside of you. That teacher's trying to help you out. Listen to him. Listen to her, and watch what happens. You see where Stella was at the age of 3. And guess what? And then she got stopped, and she's right here now on the Big Scoop with Coop. I love it. That's what I'm talking about, Stella. Now, Stella, I want to know this also because you've done things in different countries. You actually have seen success in so many different places. A lot of people are being stagnated saying, I worked in California and I made it here. I worked only in Atlanta and I made it here. Now you've been worldwide. Now, what's something you learned working in different countries that changed how you see success?
Uh, I think, well, we kind of go back to the uniqueness because the more I live abroad, I live in the UK, in the United States, in China. The more I live abroad, the more I realize how Italian I am. Which, there was a time, a point in my life where I hated Italy. I hated being Italian. I just wanted to escape, run away, you know? And then going forward, I was like, no, actually, wait, actually, no. Being Italian is part of my uniqueness. And so being with other cultures and learning how they deal with my our industry and how they deal with actors. Um, it's definitely made me grow and again accept myself for who I am, but also learn different types of ways on how to see my job, my professionality, and the respect towards the yeah this job. So this is probably the biggest thing that I learned by working in different places in the world.
And that's a big advantage that you have because you can see how each culture does things differently, and you grab onto it and you can say, yes, I may be Italian, but guess what, I could pick up something from the Chinese right here and add into mine. Oh, the Germans are doing it that way, let me put that into my bucket. Oh, so this is how it goes down in America, let me grab this also. And you have made a customized ball of success, and
Yes.
that's what you have done.
Yes, absolutely. And actually, you just reminded me the thing that the director of this movie, Kat Coiro, told me the first time we met on Zoom. We had this interview on Zoom after I sent her my self tapes, and she was like, "I'm so happy." She told me she was so happy to see my self tapes because she saw an Italian actor being able to be Italian, but at the same time understand the comedy timing of an American script, which again, it's something that I have because I'm Italian and because I lived abroad and because I've been watching American TV shows since I was very young. And again, that's something pretty unique, and that's why she was so like excited to meet me and to have me in a movie. So this is another confirmation that traveling and learning other cultures and other ways of doing comedy, for example, is giving me more skills for my job.
I love it. I love it. And since you brought it up already, let's talk about it because you in this movie that's coming up. And I mean, this is something big that a lot of people is anticipating to watch. Now, how excited were you to receive the role of Francesca in the upcoming movie You, Me, and Tuscany?
It's literally, it's, I have to say, one of my biggest dreams is coming true. It's actually, I have a story about it. I got this job in June. We were filming we started filming in June, and then June, July last year. And the year before, I went to the Universal Studios in LA for a tour. You go there, you go in the studios, you look. And when I was looking, I was like, oh, wow, I really wish one day I can work for the Universal Studios. And one day later, boom, on my birthday, I'm working for Universal Studios in a movie. And wow, like that's for me, I will never forget this. I will never forget this. So just to show you, like, can you imagine how excited I was? It was magical, magical.
And you know what, Stella? That is a prime example of speaking something into existence.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
And you did that. You know what? I would try that myself. I want to go to LA and try that. I want to walk up and say
Yes,
that, and then I'm like, and then Stella will hit me up and say, "Hey, I want you in this movie." I'm be like, "Yes, ma'am," and I'll go run like Forrest Gump right into that movie
yeah.
set. That's what I'm talking about, man. Big shout outs to Universal Studios. Big shout outs to LA. Big shout outs for letting Stella in this because she's about to be a rocket ship. She is getting ready to blow up in this movie. Stella, how excited were you to be with the cast and crew when the cameras was not rolling on You, Me, and Tuscany?
It was amazing because we were so lucky. You know, we play a family, right? An
Mm-hmm.
Italian family, a typical Italian family. And the great thing was that the feeling of family was there all the time, also off camera. We got we got along very well. We I think it was a great choice of cast, you know. Thanks again, shout out to the casting directors and to Kat Coiro for picking an amazing cast. um I think starting from the leading guys, you know, Hali and Reggae, um they were such a pleasure to work with, down to earth. Hallie was like a sun. Every morning you see her like a sun, a sunshine on set. And we were, you know, chatting and sharing our stories. And then she mentioned also in an interview as well, we were going dancing towards the end of the shooting. Yeah, it became a real family. We still keep in touch with everyone. They called me the other day to know how the London premiere went, and we have a group chat on WhatsApp. So it's actually called the Costa Family group chat. So I cannot wish for more. Honestly, we've been very very blessed.
Wow. Wow. And you know what? And that's one thing right there. You know that a cast can get along when you actually have it to the point where you start a group chat and you're actually still connected after the movie is shot. Because a lot of the cast will go their separate ways. And be like, nice working with you. Maybe I'll see you down the line. But look at you guys. All of you all are still staying connected. You can't beat that. You can't beat it at all. Ladies and gentlemen, watching worldwide. Well, hold on before I even go there. Stella, when is this movie dropping?
This Friday, all over the United States and also somewhere else. So check it out. If you're watching from the world, you know, not just the United States, it might be already on Friday in your country too. So it's there. Go watch it. Go bring your friends. It's so much fun. And it's not just romance, it's also comedy. And it gives you such a big feeling of uh, you know, heart. It's heartwarming. It gives you a feeling of family, friends. It's just everything, everything we need now.
That's what I'm talking about. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, is watching worldwide. Make sure April the 10th, Friday, you go to the movie theaters, but you do not go alone. You make sure you bring your family, bring your friends, bring your associates. You know what? Bring your haters too, because they
Yeah.
need this movie also in their life. Make sure you go watch this. Tell everyone because this is a hit that's going to actually do real well. We need this type of genre in the movies back again. And guess what? Stella and the cast and the crew, they actually bringing it right now. So make sure you go flood your movie theater, your local movie theater. If that one's sold out, go to the next city over. Make sure you watch this movie and you make sure you come back and you comment on this video and you tell Stella how much you love this movie. You want to make sure you do that. That is awesome. Yes, that is awesome.
Thank
Now,
you.
yes. Now, Stella, are there any other projects that you're working on right now that you want anybody to know about around worldwide right now?
Well, I cannot say too much yet. Unfortunately, it sounds like a cliche, but we are working on a few things. What I can say is that I have a book who came out in Italy that I'm bringing to the United States, and I have a few projects inspired by the book. And so I'm very excited because it's a book that talks about self love and body acceptance, the things that we spoke about today as well. And it's very empowering. It aims to break all the stereotypes and inspire people, not just women, but anybody who might have any insecurity about themselves and their body also. So I I think it's one of my missions in life, and I try to accomplish this mission also through my work.
That's what I'm talking about. And I'm glad you brought that up, dealing with body image. Now, and I want to ask you about this too, because I know you're very big on that and you're very heavy and passionate on that. Now, what is something that people get completely wrong about confidence and body image?
I think sometimes people think that that's selfish or arrogant. And this is also, by the way, one of the reasons why I'm so grateful that I worked with Will Packer, the producer of the movie. He actually just wrote a book that talks about healthy arrogance. And I think people mistake that. And sometimes, even in my family, I had people telling me, "Oh, you're selfish." No, I'm not selfish. I'm just trying to love myself first, because if you don't love yourself first, who's going to do it? And how are you going to be able to love other people? It's just not possible. So that's probably the biggest misconception that I heard.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, watching worldwide right now, it doesn't matter once again what size you are. Don't fall for the trick saying you have to be a certain size. I want to say that again. Do what you do. God gave you a gift, use it. If you have a passion for something, go out there for it. Don't think you're too big. Don't think you're too small. You want to make sure you walk and you walk with your head up high. It doesn't matter your weight size. You continue to do your thing. And also make sure you get ready for Stella's book. She ain't gonna say too much, but it's coming, people. It's definitely coming. Be ready for it. Yes. Now, Stella, how can everyone follow you on social media to keep up with the latest and greatest, just in case if you do announce it on social media about this book?
I will definitely announce it on social media, so that's a good question. You can find me just anywhere, well, most of all on Instagram probably, as Stella Pecollo, Stella Peccollo.
That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go follow her on social media. Not right now, because you're watching this interview. After the interview, make sure you go follow her on social media, because you never know if she will talk about the movie, if she will talk about the book. She may even give pointers about the industry even more, or dealing with body image or confidence. You never know what Stella's going to bring. Make sure you follow her, because you never know what's coming up next with Stella. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
That's true.
Now, yes. Now, Stella, it's the last segment of the show. It's called Take the Floor. You have up to 2 minutes to say whatever you want. No questions asked. Stella Pecollo, take the floor.
Thank you. Grazie, as we say in Italy. Well, I would be inspired by our chat today and just keep on talking about how important it is right now to focus on the positive. I feel like the world outside is a little bit noisy right now, is a little bit scary right now. So inwards we have to find the beauty, the light, the fun. One of the ways to do it is go watch movies like You Me Tuscany, because I watched it for the first time entirely a few weeks ago, and I came out of that room so full of energy. The people were laughing, crying, screaming. It was such a hype. Literally, I took that with me for a week. And then, of course, as we were saying, please love yourself. Please, um, don't be shy about it. And I think that I realized when I wrote the book, many people, especially women, send me comments on the social media and saying that by reading my book, it changed their point of view towards their body image and the way they lived. And that's probably the biggest reward to me, to hear a woman saying like, oh, I used to hide and not to go to the swimming pool, to the beach, because I didn't want to show my body. And I realized by reading your book that I was missing out on life. And then now I'm like, I just take every opportunity to just do what I love to be by the water. I'm gonna go by the water. I want to go with my little nephew and play on the sand. I'm doing it. I don't care about other people, because usually haters are people who don't love themselves, and they're jealous because you love yourself and they want to be like you. So sometimes I try to talk to them and teach them. Sometimes just by example, by being myself and loving myself, I'm an example to other people and haters to maybe change a little bit and stop being haters.
Wow. Wow. That's what I'm talking about, Stella. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Watcher Worldwide. I know you know a hater. It might be in your family. It might be an associate. It could be an old schoolmate or a workmate. Don't hate on them back. Sit down with them. Educate them. Let them know about confidence. Let them know about body image. And while you're actually finished talking about body image, tell them about Stella's book that's going to be dropping soon when it comes out. And then when you tell them about that book, you tell them also You Me Tuscany is out also. Tell them to go watch that. We're going to throw Stella all in your face. That's right. She's going to help you out every way around. So you make sure you do that. Make sure you follow her on social media also. You do not want to miss anything that she has going on. Stella, it was an honor to have you on the show, and I would love to have you back on in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Coop. It was so much fun, and I really hope to meet you in person soon. Who knows?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest on the Big Scoop with Coop is, you know, that's my next guest. You better follow me on social media at the Big Scoop with Coop. Then catch up with the latest and greatest. Once again, the movie's coming Friday. No excuses. Flood that movie theater. Social media. Follow her on social media to find out about that book, and make sure you catch up with everything. Oh, also see if you can find some of her singing. That's a challenge for you also. It might be on YouTube, might be online. See what she can do. Age of 3, she been blowing up ever since. So you make sure you go follow her and do everything she's doing. All right, people. Until the next time on the Big Scoop with Coop. Peace.
Ciao.
You know what time it is? It's time to hang out with Mr. Coop. With Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper. Hang with Mr. Coop, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper.